We are live. Yes, we are. Good Monday morning. No, it's not Monday. It's Saturday. Saturday. Been watching that MPGA too much. So here we are at home, and I don't have to worry about anyone thinking I'm a weirdo. So this is nice. This is nice to be doing this today. As the title says, we're going to be doing Fizzbuzz in the good old browser, and you can follow along at home if you want. Not a problem, not hard at all. Let's go ahead and pull this up. So here is what's called REPL IT. I've used this in different courses from Udemy. I'll go ahead and bring that back in a minute. But let's just talk more about this portfolio thing. Here's the thing, it's not going away. I haven't pushed any changes, but I have been working a bit on it, and I should probably pull that up, actually. So let me go ahead and find this here, and we'll just switch on over. So here you can see, here is what I have so far. I have the header done, a header done, but this is going to be a reusable component. Look at that. Even done with CSS, where you see I kind of fade in the background so you can read that text easier. And then I've also set up the HTML for this section. Let me go ahead and pull up the Photoshop document here so you can kind of have a comparison. Let's see if we can't pull that over. And so here's what it's gonna look like. Here's what it currently looks like. Currently looks like. Of course, it's never gonna be like an exact 1-to-1 ratio, but you know, it's pretty good in my opinion. It's coming right along. So first, what I'm gonna do is actually hammer out all the CSS and HTML for this page, and then what I'm gonna do is what am I gonna do after that? And then I'm gonna go ahead and break it apart from a component. Corey says, what is Fizzbuzz? And Dawson says, Fizzbuzz is sorting array? No. It is the most basic interview question that's asked when in an interview. it's kind of weird, but let me show you. The question is create a function that for every number up to some arbitrary number prints out fizz every time the number in a loop hits 3, or rather is the remainder of 3 is 0, and buzz when the remainder of 5 is 0, and fizzbuzz when it's 15. The number divided by 15 is 0. So I didn't set that up perfectly, but yes, you tell us you are building a site, but behind the scenes just by cheap template. Yeah, no. No, I can tell you that exactly. Someone actually in a what am I trying to say here? In a Facebook group that I was on, actually said that too. They're like, "Hey, your navigation looks like Bootstrap." I was like, "This is bullcrap. Does not look like Bootstrap. You are a liar, sir." But definitely no. I don't use templates very much. I mean, not all the time. I've used like Squarespace and then changed them, but I don't really bash too much on templates. It's about what your results are, and so if you can make good results with that, hey, more power to you. But for like the stuff that I work on, it doesn't work. So it's been about 3 minutes. We talked a little bit. Let's go ahead and dive into what Fizzbuzz is. Let me get myself off the screen here. Whoops. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, that's right. Sorry, guys. I have these shortcuts set up, but they also are shortcuts in the browser. So I'm gonna put you guys over here so I can take a look and make sure that I see you. And I'm going to increase this. If you want to follow along, this is called REPL IT. So you can just go to REPL IT. It'll pull this up. Choose the language. Is really big here because I increased the font, and just choose JavaScript. And you can use this. Of course, you can use any browser, or you could use the control or the command console, or the console in JavaScript. So yeah, Dawson says here, I look forward to the rest of your videos in React portfolio. Yes, they're coming. I didn't have internet for the longest time, so my apologies, but it's not that I haven't forgot, and I definitely need to get it done, so I'm not going to not do it. So let's go ahead and talk about this Fizzbuzz. Fizzbuzz is a function that we need to go ahead and run. Let's see here. There we go. All right. Fizzbuzz is a function that we need to run. They're going to ask you these in interviews. And first I'm going to go ahead and write it out. function Fizzbuzz. So we're declaring a function here. Now, what the function says, let me go ahead and bring myself up on camera here. What the function says is put in a number here. So put a number right here. This is going to be our parameters. Now, for every time the number it has a remainder of 0 when it's divided by 3, print fizz. Every time the number has a remainder of 0 when divided by 5, print buzz. And every time the remainder of the number divided by 15 is 0, print Fizzbuzz. And every other time just print out the number. Confusing? Yes. Is it easy? Once you know how to do it, yeah. Like anything, yeah, but it's supposed to be like one of the easiest questions, really weed out a lot of wannabe developers. So if I did something like this, let me kind of give you an example. It would print out to the console 1. No, I said 1. It would print out 1, and then it would print out 2, and then it would print out, gosh dang it, print out this. It would print out fizz, because we're at 3 and it's divided by that number divided by 3 is 0. And then you'd go to 4, right? And then 5 would be buzz. And then you'd go all the way down to 15 or so. Just use your imagination, and we print fizz buzz like this. Okay, weird, right? Or I can already hear a lot of you saying, like, why would you learn that? Well, you wouldn't really use it too much, but the thing is they want to know that you know how to use the language, right? So if you were going to hire someone for a, like, say, English speaking job in a different country, like maybe Saudi Arabia or something, you'd probably have to do some tests and maybe not say some things that you might say in real life, but they need to know that you are able to speak the language and know a lot of different verbs, vocabulary, grammar, you know, all that. That's what this is kind of equivalent to. So let's go ahead here and let's see. Whoops. Every time, man, I have to change the hotkey from F1 to something else. Let's go ahead and start here. So the first thing we have to do is create an if loop. So if the, a for loop. For. Now I can't do a for in or for of. One, for in is for an object. For of goes over each character, and we don't want to do that here. So first we're going to call out var. Dawson says, I remember, it is one of the common interview questions. Yes, it is, definitely. So we're going to go ahead and create a variable, here, var I equals 0. Now this is old school. You could also use let. Let has block scope. I know that might not mean a lot to you, but going forward in the future here, lets and consts are definitely the way, so definitely check out ES6 if you're looking into that. We can look at some more stuff down the road. So let I equal 0, and what we want to say is actually let I equal 1, because we're going from 1 to 100 or more. We don't want to start at 0 because we're not actually calling that number for the most part, unless they ask you to. So normally in a for loop you'd ask for like a 0, start at 0, but today we're starting at 1. It's one of those gotchas. It's one of those gotcha questions that they want to ask you. If it's divided by 3 fizz, yes, that's correct. So for I less than n, whatever the number is, we're going to increment I. So I++ just means add on to this one more, in case you didn't know. So I++ means add on one more. So if we're going to do this, we have to get to the first fizzbuzz. So Dawson has the idea, right? If it's divided by 3 fizz, by 5 buzz, and by 15 fizzbuzz. Correct. So he's on the right path here. So if I, we're going to use this, modulus 3, no, well, we're going to do 15 first, but let's actually do it from 3 first. 3 equals 0. Then we want to print out, like Dawson said, fizz. So we're going to say console.log fizz. Okay? Alright, so there's the first part. There we have our fizz. Let's go ahead and see if that works. Let's see here. Fizz, buzz. Now we're not consoling out, or we're not printing out the number else, but we would. So I would probably do something like else. Let's see, console.log I, like that. Okay, so let's see. So this says, this function that we have so far says function Fizzbuzz, the parameter is n, or the argument is n. Now for I, we're going to, let's set I equal to 1, and while I is less than n, it should be less than or equal to, actually, less than or equal to n, I++, because we're going to go all the way up to the number. Now, if this character here is modulus, all it does is return the remainder. So let me, you know what, let's actually look at that here. So we have our nice, let's just go ahead and create a new sheet here, and I will go ahead and kind of get in here and actually use the old pen to write something out as I can find it here. So let's say that we are going to do something like gosh dang it, these live streams, I'll tell you, man. We're going to do something like opacity, smoothing. This is really small. One more time, guys. Of course, that's what happens when you go live, right? It's always great. Okay, now that we have more pixels on the screen, get out of that. We're going to go ahead and say 4. Okay, 4. If you can't see that, let's go ahead and increase the font size here, because it is, you know, kind of 4. Why? I hate my life. It won't, I think the spread is all out here. I did it the other day. They haven't come back. Unprofessional. Let's try that. Pull that up. 4. There we go. Okay. Control A. Let's go ahead and Control A, Control M, Control A, delete. Or let's just fill the background with white. Jeez. Sorry, guys. Trying to be simple here, and I'm making it much harder than it needs to be. 4. And let's say something like this, right? Divided by 8. I'm just doing a division with my son already. So 4 can go into 8 how many times? 2, right? And so we can do this, 8. And it gives us 0. So our remainder is 0. This is what the modulus returns. This is what modulus returns. Okay? So let's go ahead and do that again, but with what we're doing. So if I have 3, stop. If I have 3, and I want to go ahead and return something here, like say 3 divided by 1, well, it's the remainder is not 0. I'll tell you that much. It's what, -2. Put that up. Can't do, right? Can't do that. So I'm not going to return anything. All right, let's get back to our actual. Problem here. Jeez. All right, so we have this console. We have the modulus that's going to return fizz when we have a remainder of 0. So this just means this number modulus 3. And so how do I get this number? Well, every time I'm going through what's called a loop, and I'm adding on to that number. So the first time I go through, it says, hey, I is at 1, I is less than n, I++, you know, add this on. So let's go ahead and run that. Okay, there we go. Dawson says, smiley face. So here we can see, and we can do this a whole bunch of times. Let's say 15. Here we can see, oh, on the right-hand side, let me get myself off the camera there. Oh, dear me. What is going on? Okay, there we go. So here on the right-hand side, we have 1, 2, fizz, because that's remainder 0, 4, 5, fizz. So the next thing is we need this 5 to be buzz. Remember, like Dawson said, if it's divided by 5 and gets a remainder of 0, then we add the, then we want to say buzz. So this else, there needs to be something in here. So I'm going to push this down, and use else if, which lets us do another conditional statement. So if I modulus, or rather if i's remainder is, if I divided by 5 has a remainder of 0, but really it just says if I returns the remainder of 0 after 5, then we're going to want to console.log buzz, okay? That's what we're going to do next. But will it work? You know, is this going to work? Only one way to find out. Let's see. There we go. Well, it kind of works. There's a few things here, but we're going to get into that. So 1, 2, fizz, because 3 here, when the remainder is 0, we're going to print out 3. No, we're going to print out fizz. Then we have 4, because that's a number that is not, it doesn't return the remainder 0 of 5 when divided by 5 or 3. And then we print out buzz. So this divided by 5 is going to be 0, or rather when I equals 5 and it's divided by 5, it returns the remainder of 0. That's here, true here. When I equals 3, or when I equals 6 and it's divided by 3, it returns the remainder of 0. That's true here. Same thing with 9. When I equals 9 and divided by 3, it returns the remainder of 0. You get the idea. When I equals 10 and is divided by 5, it returns a remainder of 0, so we get buzz. Any questions so far? Is this confusing to you guys? Is this a little bit too much, more than the typical morning that we have here? Let me know. Definitely let me know. And then we're going to go on to the last part, which is the fizz buzz, joining the two. Give me just a moment here while I switch on over. So this is great, but we're not getting that last part that we were talking about. When it's divided by 15, or when we get the number I divided by 15, when I is divided by 15 and returns a remainder of 0, print both fizz and buzz together. So how do we do that? Well, I'm so glad you asked. Let's go ahead and see just how we would do that. Well, what you might think is, let's just go ahead and put else if I remainder 15 equals strong equals. In case you're wondering why I'm putting 3 instead of 2, that means it's strongly, because that's strong equals. There's some weird things that can happen if you do weak equals kind of thing here, because strings get turned into numbers and numbers can get turned into strings. When we do this, it doesn't do that. So if I console log, say fizz and buzz, and we want to say fizz buzz like this, right? Well, it should just work. Let's go ahead and see what happens when we run the function. It doesn't work. What the heck is going on here? Huh? What happened to our function? Well, let's go ahead and run through the loop. For I equals 1, we know this. I is less than or greater than n, increment I plus plus. If I is equal to 3, the remainder of I divided by 3 is 0, print fizz. If the remainder of I divided by 5 equals 0, print buzz. Well, guess what? In this entire loop, let's go ahead and format this out a bit. Well, I'm going to have to get a little bit smaller here. Sorry, guys and gals. Look, this is already hit true. Like, we're in one loop. We're in one statement. And then we go on to the next thing. So if this happens, if this doesn't happen, then go on to this. If this doesn't happen, then go on to this. If that doesn't happen, then finally do this. Well, let's see here. What's going on now? I don't like that. Is that it's already happened, right? We've already met one of those conditions. So both 3 and 5 has already happened, so we're going to get the first one that happens. Down here, fizz is going to happen because we already met the first condition. If I divided by 3 equals remainder 0, well, heck, we're done and we go on to the next number. You know, we've already answered the question. So what we've got to do is we've got to rearrange these things. We've got to switch these things up so they hit the right conditions. Dawson says, when will you answer the questions or as we go through the live stream? Excellent question. and as you can tell, I'm answering them right now. So you can send them on through. This is definitely a live stream. It's not like super, you know, strict. So if you have questions, go ahead and ask them, and I'll answer them throughout the live stream. And we're almost done with this Fizzbuzz here anyway, and we can answer questions about that or different interview questions if I have the answer. Of course, I don't always have the answer. That more times than not. Let's see. So, like I said, we were looking at this, right? And we wanted to know, how the heck are we going to get this to print Fizzbuzz because these conditions have already been met? There's just no way. Well, that's not true. We can just make sure that we order these in the right way. So instead of having this here, this 15, let's do something else. And I'll even do something a little more than just move this to the top. So first, I'm going to go ahead and change things up. So at the top is where we need to have the condition 15 met first before we go through anything. So it hits that, and then we'll go through. The way that I would do that, you could just put the 15 here, right? 15 0, and then Fizzbuzz. But still, it's like a little bit hard to understand what's going on here if you were watching this later. Dawson says, what is the reason not to upload the rest of the videos of the portfolio? Because I haven't done them, man. In case you didn't know, I didn't have internet for a week and a half, and then I launched a full corporate website for my day job. So I'm working on it now. But great question. Moving back to Fizzbuzz, let's go ahead and refresh. We want to move the I modulus 15 up here because we're going to hit that condition first, and then we can go through everything else before we ignore everything. So you can put I modulus 15 to console Fizzbuzz, but that's not as clear as it could be. We're going to say if I modulus 3 equals 0 and ampersand, which means and. So if this happens and I modulus 5 equals 0, or I divided by 5 gives you a remainder of 0, then print console Fizzbuzz. You see there's less, they're still related. We're just using I modulus 3 equals 0 and I modulus 5 equals 0. Now, else if 5 equals I modulus 5 equals 0, then print buzz. And finally, I modulus 3 equals 0, we're going to console Fizz. This way, our conditions are always going to hit correctly. So rather than have it be overwritten here, it will print out Fizzbuzz. Let's go ahead and give that a shot. Boom. Boom. Beautiful. So let's go ahead and see what happens here. So when I is 1, is it equal to the when it's divided by 3 remainder 0? No. Or I remainder 5 divided by 0? No. So we're going to just print out the number. Repeat, rinse, repeat, boom. And it can go up for bigger numbers as well. This is a very common interview question, so I've been told. I haven't done it. It looks like, yeah, I need to fix, nope, we're good. So as you can see, we go all the way up to 100 when we print out 100. Every time we have something that's divided by 0, like 75, Fizzbuzz. Let's see, what's after 75? Oh, 90, Fizzbuzz. Sorry, I'm looking at all these different things here. That's basically how you do that algorithm. Now, I apologize if it was a little confusing. This is my first time doing something like this, especially live. So, you know, if you like that kind of content, let me know. If you would like it somewhat more structured, I can definitely do a produced piece that will be really, you know, tightly finished and stuff. So, definitely. Shoddy says, can I ask a question about React Router? Yeah, I mean, go ahead. Greater than sign, question mark? Now, I don't know too much about React Router just because I've been out of the game for so long as far as React goes. So full disclosure there, but we can look it up together. Go ahead and ask about React Router, and we'll just pull up the documentation here. React Router, declarative routing, JS. Let's go ahead and see. Is this the... Yeah, this is documentation here. I'm going to go ahead and try to pull up every time, man. Every time I do that. Let's see if we can't make this a little bit bigger here so everyone can actually read what's on screen. Shoddy says, how can I detect browser back button? Oh, that's done in React Router. It actually does that for you. But I don't know exactly how. Right off the top of my head, I can tell you where I saw it the last time. Tyler, let's do Tyler McGinnis. So Tyler McGinnis's class is where I remember distinctly seeing that. You know, I wish I was more fluent in React Router myself, but I've been really focusing on the fundamentals here. So you know how it goes when you do that. You can never stay caught up. It seems like React Router here. Now I'm not gonna like play his videos. You gotta you gotta pay for that. But it's worth it. URL parameters with React Router, nested routes, props component, programmatically navigate using React Router. This is probably what you're looking for. I think Tyler's classes are like $15. Now, Corey, I know what you're gonna say. You're gonna be like, but I don't like Tyler. Hey, it's all good, man. It's all good. All I can tell you is that is where I learned most of my stuff from. So there you go. Good question. Anyone else? Did anyone learn anything by chance from doing this Fizzbuzz question? Let me know in the comment section. And this isn't too bad for a live stream for me. I don't think it's too bad doing things from home. It's a little bit quiet. I actually prefer a little more noise, but I know this probably sounds a lot better for you guys. So you can't have everything. If you're let's see here. Shadi says, "Okay, thanks." So what else do you guys want to talk about? That's what we're here for. Let me know. I would love to go ahead and answer any questions, whether it be with anything from online learning to web development to marketing, digital marketing, those things. You know, that's what I'm here for. So yeah. I have definitely got to get a new laptop though. Sorry about that. Just looking through my stuff here. Let's see here. Shadi says, "Can you review my portfolio?" Absolutely. Absolutely, we can review portfolios. I am totally ready to do that. Just send me on over the link. Either send it to me in a message and let me know, or send it up here and we can open it up. I would love to do that. That's fun stuff. For me, anyway. For me, I like doing those things. Let's see here. Anyone? Any other questions? Let me know. I'm just currently waiting here, seeing all the different music I got. Maybe I could be like Dylan, play some music, some dope music while I code here. Swingtown, night music, cosmic funk. These are all old. These aren't right. Let's see here. Shadi says, what are the basic securities you do for VPS, like voice protocol? Hold on one second. Let me go ahead and pull up the screen here. VPS. The next live I will, he says. Thanks. Not BPS. VPS definition. So virtual private server. What are the basic securities I do? I don't have to do that part. My main thing is designing the front end, so that's done by the back end developers. I know we use like IIS and stuff, so as far as securities, HTTPS, but I don't have to do this. So hosting is done on their side, but I've hosted on Heroku, straight up on GitHub before, Bluehost, all those things. So that's what I've done. So nothing super like in depth for the most part, because I'm doing front end stuff. So I hope that answers your question. Probably not, but that's what I can give you, man. So yeah. So what type of music do you guys jam to? I'll tell you what I jam to. Lot of Nintendo music. So while I'm waiting for those questions to come in, and you're wondering like where like all that music comes from on my videos, this is it. Oh, let's turn that down. Not that song. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and play this rather low. At least on my side, because you're going to get some reverb. So if you know where this song comes from, let me know, because I'm all about that. Shoddy says, yeah, me too. I'm going to do DigitalOcean. I've heard good things about DigitalOcean, man. So let me do this. I'll turn down my speakers. I should have my headphones on, but I don't. So if you don't know where that song comes from, I will tell you. That is Dolphin Shoals from Mario Kart 8. Funny thing is I don't actually listen to a whole lot of video game music anymore. So I mean, no, I don't play a whole lot of video games. I listen to a whole lot of video game music, and I learn about video game history a lot. But as far as like gaming goes, nah, I ain't about that life. So yeah. Any other questions? It's been kind of a chill morning doing some of these doing this Fizzbuzz here. It's not too hard, but you gotta know what the things are, right? So a lot of people, I remember me especially, is like, oh, I just can't figure out this thing, and a lot of people are like, just go do it, and you'll be fine. You know, just go try to figure out the answer. I get that, that's a good idea, but you know, if you need to look up the answer, go ahead. Write it out by hand. Get some paper and just write that sucker out, and then, you know, erase it or pull out a new page and write it out again. Print it up in the console, see what happens. A lot of console logs for data structures and algorithms has helped me out. Ashadi says, is it easy to add your domain to Heroku? Yeah, I mean, I haven't done too much of that, but yes, it's not as hard as you would think. It's not like, you know, trying to deploy the app itself. David Miller says, hi Ricky, how are you doing today? If you would like to take a look at my portfolio, it is here. David Miller, 1403.com, very basic for now. That's totally fine, man. That is totally fine. I take it, is it www.com, David? Let us know. Well, we're going to find out. All right. So here we go. Here's David Miller's site. Let me get myself off the screen here. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what's going on. So the first thing I would do with anything when I look at these is pull out the inspector. One thing I see here, David, and you'll have to work on it, and it's not like bad or anything so far, but the first thing is, you see this horizontal scroll bar? We're going to want to figure out why that is happening. So what you want to do, or anyone, is open up the console here. Now we can look at a lot of things. You got a container here, a header, nav. I'm curious to say, why did you put everything in the body in a container? Well, let's go ahead and see what you wrote out here on the bottom here. Width is 125, height is 100%, background is white. So what you're actually looking for is probably max width here. Width is saying, hey, I will only display 124 pixels and that's it. Max width says, I will only go up to this width, any farther and I won't. So max width, we're going to go ahead and say that. Does it fix anything? Not really. So we're going to have to keep on doing some looking here. The text you used was Comic Sans. Yeah. I don't know where you got it, but Comic Sans is, and I'm not trying to be harsh or anything on you. Oh, it's cursive is what it's called. Is not really really looked well upon in the community. So I would probably try to switch that. Let's just turn everything here. Let's just go to body and just turn everything font Helvetica. And you don't have to have Helvetica. Oops. Font family. Sorry, I'm trying to talk and just make things work. Helvetica. So everything here, if you take a look at your navigation, is looking a little bit better. Let's just do the whole thing, but it probably will get overwritten. Now you wouldn't normally do this. You wouldn't write important here, but I'm doing it because we want to show everything. But it's not working. So think about switching up that font, okay? Switching up this font to something like Helvetica. Shadi says, do I really need an SSL certification? Well, it depends on what you want to do, man. Take a look at it. Ha, you're right, Shadi says. Thanks for your time. So let's see here. Why you should hire me. Here's my portfolio. The copy is fine. You can make breathtaking websites. You'll get there. But we need to go a little bit deeper here. Let's see the resume. I do like this, but it needs some work. You know, it needs to be aligned right. Portfolio. Let's see your portfolio. You made some sites here. Not bad. You know, you have some. Oh, and you can click on them. Because you can click on these, something that I would do here is say cursor, hover. So I said cursor pointer. Sorry, I'm not thinking here. See, and this lets someone know that, hey, I can click on this. So putting a pointer on here just lets people know that you can click on this. I would do something like that. Portfolio F should be not capitalized. Contact, you have a form here, you have a blog. Okay, not bad. But we got to really figure this thing out, right? This vertical, or this, sorry, horizontal scroll bar. We do not want that. So what could we do here with this? Well. We got to identify why this is happening. This is all going to be, this is usually done all within the developer tools. So really get your developer tools down. You're going to use it for JavaScript, like especially like jQuery and stuff, or when you want to do any selectors, although you don't really need to use jQuery anymore, a whole different topic. But you can use a console for JavaScript, for CSS, HTML, all that stuff. So I use it all the time. Let's get out of the debugger here. I don't even know how I got into the debugger. Probably hit F something. Okay, so we're here. I want to take a look at the container. Let's see. Where is the margin? So let's see these margins here that you have. Let's get rid of those for now. Okay, so they're centered. Did that do anything? No. So we know that's not it. What about these sections here? It has to be with the container, it looks like. That's what's causing the issues. Is it the body? Maybe. What is the body has a width? Okay, that's what we need to get rid of. Your body does not need to have a specified width. So look, we fixed it already. So in your portfolio, remove the body. Remove this required height, maybe. See, it just allows it to scroll. So you want that there. Yeah. And it just takes a lot of time, David. It takes a lot of time to learn all this. So you're doing the right things by making this website here. Definitely going in the right direction. I would study, if I were you, some graphic design tips. Definitely do some graphic design tips. Or learn some graphic design, rather. That's what I would do if I were you. So, yeah, any other questions? Do you guys have any comments? Shadi says, Ali says, hi, bro. Good evening from Nepal. Good evening to you. Good morning from Idaho. So thanks for tuning in, man. Shadi says, yeah, you're right. I'm uploading a unfinished website. Dude, that's another thing you guys should think about. If it's unfinished, sometimes you just got to ship. Like even at work, I had to ship this website and I knew it wasn't ready, but went in there and did like a lot of work in a really short amount of time to make sure everything was running smoothly and perfectly. So Shadi says, can I send the link? Yeah, you can go ahead and do that. Go ahead and send the link, Shadi. The Gamer says, I also have problems with horizontal scrolling when I make websites. The most important thing, what I use now is Flexbox. Flexbox everything. We've done this before, but you can go to Flexbox Froggy. And this is really a great way to learn. It's amazing. Whoever made this, hats off to you. So you can go to Flexbox Froggy and you can learn about the properties, read through it, and you make the frog go over here and you go up to different levels. So if I want to make this guy align, I might just say align self, maybe. Flex end. That's not gonna work. Let's see. Justify. Yeah, because align is on the cross axis. Justify content. Flex end. And the froggy goes there. Look, he goes right there, up there. And then you go on to the next level and do it. Sorry, I don't know everything right off the top of my head. Like if we want to do something here, we want to do justify content. And we're going to go ahead and center. Boom. But these, the thing is like, yes, it's cute and there's a bunch of frogs there. It's going to help you learn how to center your content, really align things. You're going to want to think about max widths. Rather than using width, use max width, and use a lot of media queries as well. When I make websites or when I make web pages, I don't go by like device types. I go by how it looks in the browser at a specific point and use those media queries. Now, granted, there are some basic, media queries where everything's going to change at a specific point, but also like almost like micro media queries. Not a ton of them, but when I need them, I put them in there. I don't worry about if it's going to look or how many media queries I have up in there. So yeah. Of course, you got to learn your floats, but I don't use floats really too much. I don't think I used any floats on this new website I had. I don't think I did. I think it was all Flexbox. So, so there's something. There's something to consider. Anyway, Shoddy, send me that link if you can. If you can't send it here, send it to me in a personal message. We'll pull it up. We have 6 people watching today. That is pretty good. I had, let's see. Let's go ahead and do some Flexbox Froggy while I talk. 3,100 members or subscribers now. And that's been great because I've been gone and I haven't been putting out a ton of content. So I do appreciate you guys coming back, subscribing. If you like this content, of course, you know what to do. Give me some of these likes. Give me some of these likes. Shoddy says just 5 minutes. Should we share this on my good old Facebook group? Maybe I can stay for forever, but I'm really only going to stay. I usually only stay for about an hour. So, we'll see if I get more interaction within the comments. I will definitely stay by. So Shoddy says, "Oh, Corey retracted his message." What, Corey? What? I want to see that message. Oh, that's all right. I am uploading to Heroku. I really need your opinion. I need to know more, though, Shoddy. I need to know what you're doing. Like, how are you uploading it? You should use something like Git, like Heroku Master, the Heroku CLI. I'm actually here in the web browser here, but if you go to Heroku, you can download the Heroku CLI, and they're usually done in tutorials. I think mine was done with Stephen Greider on Udemy. So let me pull that up. Time to log in. Let's see. I'll go ahead and do that and pull it up here. Corey says, they showed a Wix ad on your channel. Dude, all the time, Corey, all the time. We talk about that sometimes. Like, I don't know why, but Wix thinks like, hey, we're the guys to go to. Like, if you're learning how to do some hardcore coding, not that I'm a hardcore coder, but man, put that Wix there. They're probably looking to make their website with a plugins and WYSIWYGs and all that stuff. Let's see, React. I think it was like full stack or something here. Modern React and Redux. Node with React full stack. Stephen Greider has it in here. Let's see here. So he went through here, and somewhere in here he has deployment, developing, handling, backend, Mongoose. I think he deploys right here, server-side architecture, Heroku deployment checklist. Ding, ding, ding. You can get this course for $10, and he'll show you how to do all this Heroku stuff. But if you can't afford that, I get it. Keep on looking, but I'm just showing you where I found it. Shoddy, my portfolio.heroku app. Also, have you done like Heroku log? Shoddy, have you done like that to see what's going on? Because you can go through the log and see what happened. Ooh, look at that. Pretty dope, bro. Oh man, you look very nice, and you have a nice looking girlfriend. I'm a software developer, ambitious, motivated, team-working believer. My favorite programming language is JavaScript, but Java was my best friend for 2 years of my career. Check out my projects on my portfolio page. Ooh, look at that animation. Look at that smooth animation. Did you do this yourself, or did you get like a library or something? About, skills, portfolio, contact. I would prefer, and this is just a preference, like I would prefer if it came out like just had it on the top, and then for this on mobile. That's usually what these are for, but that's a personal preference. My skills, these are my major skills. Oh, it's unfinished. That's right, what you were saying, right? So that's totally fine. Let's talk. email here, good calls to action, portfolio. Yeah, these cool tabs. I like these tabs. I don't have any, but I should. How did you make it? Yeah, this is pretty cool, man. It looks like it's doing well. Contract or contact. You have a nice form here. I like this a lot, man. But the test is, how responsive is it? Responsive. Very responsive. I see some comments coming in here. I forgot to change URLs. Well, that's all right, Shoddy, man. We're all friends here. Robert R says, good morning, Ricky. Good morning, Robert. We're just taking a look at some good old portfolios and stuff. We did some, Fizzbuzz earlier. Of course, that's what's in the title, so you know that. Lewis says, Heroku is easy and depends on what you are deploying. You can't just follow what Steven did. Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying that's a good way to get started. Is like if you're wondering like how to look at something, if it doesn't work, go to Heroku logs. Like I learned a lot from that. I don't use it all the time. I had to deploy something from work on Heroku, but that got me started. That got me up and running so I could look at Heroku logs and have something to grasp on rather than just like, oh, I'm just going to try to do this through the documentation. That doesn't work for me all the time. Like I can't just dig through documentation unless it's like a small library or something like that. So fair points though, Lewis. Fair points. Yeah, no. I just need to change the URLs. So what do you mean by you just need to change the URLs? They don't look right? Oh, my skills about... Alright, if you need to change the URLs, do you, bro. So, and for those of you that don't know, myself, I'm definitely much more on the design side, moving into the programmatic side. Yes, I wouldn't say I'm a novice when it comes to JavaScript or anything, but I've focused very hard on design and UX, UI, marketing, all those things, and how they fit into development. And so that's where I focused a lot of my time and effort, and now I'm moving again back into development. Last year at this time, I was just doing everything at once, which is actually good. So I learned MongoDB, that was a database, Node.js, learning how to use that API. I wish I would have learned more about JavaScript, but I digress. React, all these things. And then after that summer, this time is mostly UX, UI, design, SaaS, because I need to get this new website up. And it was more important to learn those things than React or Node or anything like that at work. So, Shadi says, yeah, no, just need to change URLs API. Okay. I see what you're saying. So you need to change how these work? I am confused. Looks like they all work pretty good to me. But I don't know. So who knows here? We got a console. Hey, sneaky. failed to load resource. Localhost API skills. Okay. Localhost API projects. I see what you're saying. All right. That's a dope site, Shadi. Yeah, it looks pretty good to me. I like it. It's gonna look better than mine. I'm going to do pretty much like standard website style, but I have animations when you fade out. So good on ya. Woo. What do you guys think? Do you think I'm a fraud now? Now that I didn't know exactly how to help Shadi? He might be a better developer than me. Here's another thing though. Like everyone's like, oh no, this guy's better. He's not real. Like the thing is like in this space, there's like a really broad range of developers and skill sets within that. So mostly I have my skill set that is marketing, design, front-end web development, a little bit of back-end, a little bit of database stuff, and I'm expanding that, of course, and using it more and more every day, but you get good at what you're using. So what I found in my experience is I'm pretty advanced as far as design and SAS and CSS, really farther than a lot of people are. And that's okay. So it's moving in the design space. But I know that that's not it. That's just part of it. That's markup. But, some people are like, oh, that's so easy, and then they can't do it. So definitely moving back into JavaScript and stuff like that. Louis says, this one is the one I'm working on. Where can I send the link? You can put it in here, although Although what am I trying to say here? It won't go through all the way because I've kind of had to filter out a lot of spam. So if you can put like .com or something like that in there, go ahead and put it in here. Or you can send me a private message, either one, whatever works for you, Lewis. I keep on calling you Louie, so my apologies. Going on 50 minutes here. What do you guys think? Have you guys watched the live stream before? Is this better? Do you like this live stream? Is it working out better for you when we look at these portfolios when I'm doing it from home? Let me know in the comment section, and let me know what you guys are up to, like you already are. Things that you're looking forward to. Of course, the React Portfolio series, doing that. I think that what some people might be mistaken for is like, oh, this is like a master because it's on YouTube. No, I'm going through this too with you guys, and I'm sharing what I find. That's what I've always done. I'm not saying I'm a master. I just say, hey, this is my journey, and this is what I found. Hopefully it's helpful to you. Thanks, guys. Shadi says, thanks, guys, but wait to see the great version 5 minutes. Okay. I'm cool with that, man. I'm cool with that. So what other questions you guys have for me? What do you guys want to talk about? Let's talk about it. You know, we should probably talk a little bit about Social Blade or social media. Shani says, can I go to a job with that website? I'm from Syria. I mean, I don't see why not. You can go to anything. Just like, when you think you're prepared, go. Go and get in there. Take note of what's happening. Are you getting calls back? Are you getting interviews? Are you like not getting interviews? What questions are they asking you? What are you lacking on? You know, things like that. I like this thing too. This is cool. So those are the questions that I would be asking. Something that I would also check. I would probably get rid of these. How it's kind of like blue and bold. I don't know. Maybe like just make them bold so they fit in here, because this looks like a link and I want to click on it. See, this one you can click on. There's some inconsistencies here, or maybe it's like you said, it's not finished, and you're gonna add that there. So my apologies if you've done that. So yeah. Shadi says, please refresh. And here is so hard, dude. Shadi, it's hard everywhere, man. It's I feel you there, but it's definitely not just Syria. Some places are easier than others. You got to think of what's going to make you unique. For me, it's the ability to communicate to others and design. So not just develop, but design, so I can do both sides. That's where my thing has been. And I can talk to both like the programmers and the marketing department. Those are some big strengths that I have. And for you, it might be this sick, dope development. Lewis says yes. Also, I've positioned myself with my social media and stuff. So my skills, I don't know what I'm looking for here, Shadi. Let me know. Hey, Sneaky, failed to load. Error, failed to fetch. Did some fetching here. Your fetch is all messed up. That reminds me of that, what was it, Clueless? You guys probably don't even know what I'm talking about. It was an old, like, 90s sitcom, and the girl would say, that's so fetch. So, yeah, there you go. Any other questions, comments, concerns, anything like that, let me know. Let's see, how are we doing? We got 7 watching now, not bad. We had a lot of comments come through. I do appreciate all the comments. And again, if you haven't subscribed, you like this stuff, you know, go ahead and subscribe. I'll have more content coming out. I had a little bit of a falter there. We all do, right? Where content doesn't come out, or you're busy doing something, but you come back. This portfolio series, everyone's like, oh, are you going to finish it? Yeah, I need a portfolio. And it's already like getting partway there. Let's see, I think I still have it. Yeah, so I've done a few things here. Right now I'm just doing the HTML and Sass. So let's pull up. Let's see here. I'm just pulling up the mock-up. So let me go ahead and share that. Here's the mock-up. Let's get rid of this thing. Let's just get rid of that. And so cancel. So you can see this is the first page, and I'm making reusable components. So you can see here's what's going on, and if we come back to here, oh boy, oh boy. Okay, you can see I've made that part out, made it responsive. Still needs work. It always needs work. The site is never done. The application is never done. But I've made this component and made this. And really what I'm doing actually is just hammering out the HTML, and then I'm going to figure out how to turn it into a component later, or reusable components, rather than trying to do everything at once. Oh no, I got a console log error here. Huh. Class. Did you mean class name? Let's see. Class, did you mean class name? Yes, I did, and that's an index.js. Oops. Whoopsie daisy. Okay. So I'll have to go ahead and do that. I have a console log in there too. You know, it's all sloppy. But that's all right. I'll fix it. Oh yeah, I did a bunch of classes. So let's go ahead and fix that right now. Class replaced with class name. Let's do that for all of them. Let's see what happens. Oh boy, then I broke it. I'll have to fix this later, I guess. Sorry guys, try to fix it on the fly. Doesn't work. But that's what happens. You know, you're doing development, so a lot of errors come through. Please refresh. Yes, thanks. I did the refresh. No big deal, man. Well, you know what? I think, to be honest, I think that we are at the end of our time here for today. Unless you have more questions, let me know. Shoddy, thanks for putting out questions. Lewis, thanks for answering. I really appreciate that. Unless you have a link and you want to send it through, let me know. Everyone else, Corey and everybody, thanks for coming by. It's been a good live stream today. So I do like doing things like this from home. And we did the old console, the Fizzbuzz. So what do you guys think? Did you like this? Did you like this type of setup better than what I normally do at a coffee shop? Let me know. David says, oh hey, that reminds me, do you use classes all the time or IDs for your divs, or what ones to use and when? Good question. I only use classes unless like I have to use like HubSpot has its own thing where it's kind of hard to grab things because you're pulling things in dynamically, and then it'll display divs and paragraphs and stuff, and then I have to use like the tags. But I'll put like an ID there so it's like has the highest priority, and then go within there. But if I can help it, all classes, it's all flat, they're all the same priority level, and then it's truly cascading. That is a high priority. I use BEM for that. So if you haven't heard of BEM, check it out. It's definitely something that you should look at. BEM 101, CSS tricks. You know, you can't go wrong with CSS tricks. So this is the type of thing I do. I do a lot of nesting. So the whole website, corporate website that I made, it was all BEM, and I try to keep it as strict as possible. So yeah, that's the problems with BEM CSS. You have something like this, like too many classes sometimes. So I don't do anything like that. So there you go. I hope that answers your question. So David says, do you use classes all the time or IDs for divs? Which ones to use and when? I use IDs for selecting things. But now, like with React, it's a little bit different. You don't really have to do that. If you're using jQuery, use IDs to select things. But don't use them to style. It's hard. Like when you want to style something else, sometimes you won't know why. You can't override that. You've already put stuff in there that has that high priority. It like blows everything else out of the water. You can't override it very easily. Same thing with tags. Well, tags are the most weakly type, but they affect a whole bunch of stuff. So you got to keep an eye out for that. Not just style all H1s this way. You want to do something like give it an H1 class or something. In my opinion, my personal opinion. David says, it does. Thank you very much. My pleasure. So go ahead and check out BEM. Do some research. BEM is pretty great. I think it's the best thing since sliced bread and Sass. Definitely something to check out. Get BEM is, I think this is like the main site. Yeah, it tells you about BEM. You don't even like really download anything. It's more like a methodology and a way of compiling things. So there's a bunch of different ones. All right. Well, that does it for today. We have reached the hour mark. So if you're watching this at a later date and you have any questions left, let me know in the comments section below. Again, if you like this setup, let me know. If you like the live stream, give me some of these. And if you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. And I will see you guys next time. I'm going to go ahead and get a video out as soon as possible, as soon as I can get this whole mock-up here. This whole mock-up all the way done. And once I have one page done, I'll do it. I can probably get it done this weekend. Finally back on track, guys. Finally back on development and production track. All right. Well, that's it for today. Talk to you guys later. Have a great weekend. See ya. Bye.